Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and the world of game engine hubs or game engine launchers has just kind of become the norm these days. And if you want to go ahead and use Unreal Engine, for example, you have come to this blessed and absolutely loved location, the Epic's Games Launcher. Yes, I'm being a little sarcastic because of all of the hubs out there, this one is probably the most polarizing. It's also the biggest resource pig. But here, if you want to come ahead and install a version of Unreal Engine, you do it here. You want to create a project, you do it here. You want to add things from your FAD library into the project, you do it here. And the value of a hub increases incrementally as you have more and more engine installs or you have more and more projects to manage. Thing is, this one is also where you manage your Epic Game Store games and the Game Store itself. And then if you want to go to Fab and buy stuff, it is all there as well. So it is a bloated mess at times too, and it's pretty much a requirement to use. Now, in the world of Unity, the hub is definitely much more svelte. It's a lightweight thing, but it is also pretty much a requirement. At least it was until a week ago, until Unity CLI was launched, which is lovely. It actually allows you to create projects without touching the hub at all, which is exactly what I want to see. I have nothing against the hub per se. It's just if you only have one version of Unity or one or two projects to manage, or you just want to quickly spin up a project, having to load an application to load another application always kind of rubs me a wrong way. But then, like I said, as you have more and more installs of, say, Unity, you've got various different versions available, and you're handling and working with those different versions, this definitely increases exponentially in its value. So there's where a hub comes in. If you've got literally a project or you're creating a project, using it for a day like I do often, then getting rid of it, hubs generally are an annoyance. But if you've got multiple things to handle, they can be of great value. And that's where we get to today's subject. We have GodotHub. GodotHub is an open source project, completely optional. And by the way, it is criminally underrated. If you like what you see here, head on over to the GitHub repository, drop it a star. This is, again, very unknown project at this point in time, which is a shame because it is incredibly polished. So this is what same thing. You come in here, and this is where you would go ahead and install your various different versions of Godot. And I want to point out straight away, this is 100% optional. You do not need to use this hub. This is a third-party application. But if you want to, let's say here, I want to go ahead and add 4.8 Dev 2 C# version. I just come in here, I click install. No going to the website, no doing that. And interestingly enough, this is also really fast. And I don't know why, but in Canada, downloading the GitHub repositories from directly from GitHub, it's super slow, like 1 or 2 megabytes per second. So for some reason, this downloads quicker, which is weird because it probably uses the same source. But here's where you can handle all the various different installed versions going back to, well, quite a ways actually, 4.1. So all of the 4 versions for the most part are here. You've also got an already installed version. You could go ahead and import it in accordingly. So there you've got your project. And on top of that, sorry, your editor installs. So now you can go ahead and create new projects. And then here you can say, okay, where would do it? And I set this one up to automatically install out of my temp folder. So I'm just going to say, I'll leave that alone, actually. I don't think it'll matter. I created this when I did the setup. I'll show you the setup in just a second. We pick a Godot version we want to use, so Dev 2, project icon if you want, and then boom, it will create. Okay, so it doesn't set it up by default where I want it to be. That's not nice. All right, here we go. My proj. All right, select it there. So boom, you can use this as the launcher. This is the same as if you went into Godot itself directly and launched it from there. Give the project a name and a folder to create it in. I did. Create. Oh, that's grayed out. That's a suggestion. Okay, that's a little unintuitive from the UI perspective. So there, I actually thought it had named it. It hadn't. So there we go. My project is now created. You can use this also to go ahead, check out how big your project is. The other really neat thing is once I've gone ahead and I've set this project up, so I set in a bunch of add-ons or modulars or something, modules that I like with all of my base projects, I can go ahead and save it as a template. And as my super setup, like so. And this, then now I can use this in my templates like so. So now if I go ahead and create a new project, I can create it from a template. So right there, and then they will get all of the various different modules and extensions and so on, the configuration settings. So you can use this as a way of basically creating a default install and handle it accordingly. So boom. Otherwise, you know what? I go ahead, I run it there. My project is now open. And it's normal and absolute utter Godot. Again, this is, Godot does have somewhat of a light version of this. So you've got the project manager right here. Now this is kind of weird though, because this is tied to a specific version of Godot. So this is Godot like 4.7 or 4.8 Dev 2, for example, but it will show all of the Godot projects it can find, even though that they're for the wrong version. So this is actually the engine itself. It's not really a launcher. It's literally part of the engine. And that is where the differences come in. Plus, of course, you end up with missings all the time. Now, interestingly enough, this project isn't showing up in it. So I could come out of here, leave that alone, and then here we've got our project. So once again, if you want with your project, you could come here and go ahead and I could remove it, or I can actually physically delete the files off my system. If I want to come back over here to the versions, if I want to install another version, something a little bit older, I could come on down here. Now, it'd be nice to get it to flag. Maybe it does. Okay, I can right here. So let's say I want to do standard only, and I only want to do stable. So I don't want to do any of the beta stuff here. Most recent there is 4.7.1 in this case. So you can filter down between the various versions that are available and go ahead and install it. And then boom, brings it down. So let's say I'm now done with this 4.8 Dev 2. I want to get rid of it. Boom, and then it got rid of it. The cool thing here is you've also got some really nice polish in the settings. So here, change where everything are stored, where it downloads as well. So if I come in here and take a look at my downloads folder, we'll also find there is where the 4.7 was downloaded. So if I come back here again, and then I say, all right, let's go back to both, and then grab this one right here, you will find, of course, that it is downloading that here. So wherever you set your downloads folder as, it will grab it. Otherwise, it does it into some app data folder, at least on Windows. This is available across all major platforms, by the way. And then again, you got that really cool template management. If you want to get rid of a template, by the way, just go ahead and just delete it right there. You also have integration into the Godot RSS feed off their website. So this is the most recent news, things that are going on, and so on. So that's another nice aspect here. And then again, back to the settings, you go through here, you've got control over a number of different things, how far to scan down, how to use categories, check for files, and so on. We've got setups for displaying of time and so on. You can change the appearance. There is a light mode for those of you that want to be blinded. And again, you can control a lot of the visual aspects of it. And then if you're done with it, you can get down here, and I could delete all the various different settings. So basically go back to normal. So if I want to get rid of Godot off my system completely, I can basically come back here, installed. I could just get rid of it there and get rid of there. And I can actually uninstall there as well. Or what I can do is, again, come back to the settings. I'm going to show you the setup process here. I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to clear out the app data. And then boom, and now we're back to, this is what you would get when you first run GodotHub. So this is what the setup process is like. You could skip it completely, by the way. But what you just do is you come in here and you say where your projects are. So in my case, it's temp, because that's where everything is. Like so. Where do you keep Godot? I would obviously keep that in the downloads folders, because that's me. And then where do you want to store those templates if you create them? And then I'll just go ahead and set that one up again. And they were in temp, in a folder called templates. Right there, and done. And then you can create new categories. So beta, for example, and so on. You can create your various different custom categories if you want. And then if you want, you can change out the accent color of the aesthetics. Really polished app, I gotta say. And then it's also incredibly lightweight. So that part is quite nice. So if you use multiple versions of Godot, you have a number of different projects, you really need to check out GodotHub. It is that cool of a project. And it's just, again, super clean and polished for such a new project. So speaking of which, if you want to go ahead and check this one out, it is available. It is up on GitHub. It is under the MIT license. Like I said, criminally unknown for being such an incredibly polished and useful app. More people need to know about this. If you want to go ahead and download it, by the way, just go to the releases. I scanned this with Malwarebytes and Windows Defender and found nothing, but do your own due diligence, obviously, because you are downloading an executable directly from the web, and that's generally not a great idea. There's also installer versions of it, and as you'll see here, so you've got, I do believe there is Mac and Linux versions in here as well. Where is DMG? App image. DMG, right there. So you do have the downloads available for Windows, Mac, and Linux if you want to go ahead and check this one out. Again, I am not always, see, I don't like having these installers or hubs being forced on me. I like to have each engine be able to create its own projects and handle everything like standalone, but they're very useful from a management perspective. And this is perfect in my case because it is 100% optional, but it's also very lightweight, and it has all of that functionality that I like from those other systems. So it said, what if Unity Hub and GitHub Desktop had a baby? But it's adopted. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. So I highly recommend GodotHub if you have a bunch of projects or a bunch of different versions of Godot, or you commonly check out betas. This is an invaluable tool, especially for someone like me who hates hubs. So let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.